Hey, plumbing bros, welcome to Potty Talk Live. I'm Richard Behney, the $1 million plumber, and your host for Potty Talk Live, where we take it into the trenches and the crawl spaces and the kitchens and bathrooms and utility rooms around the world to talk to plumbing pros just like you. And I'm finally excited to have this guest on today. We have a very special guest, and finally we had some technical difficulties here on our end. Internet went down. Sometimes, it's great having all this technology, but sometimes the old ways are the best ways. And I don't know if I should put it this way or not, but we got an old dog on today. This guy's been around the block, so you young guns, you better listen up here. We have Mr. Paul Canner. Here we go, Mr. Paul Canner. Mr. Paul Canner from Los Angeles, California. He's been around the block a time or two. And let me get you set up here. Here we go. You're on there. There we go. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Doing well this morning.
Nice stuff today. It's great to have you on here. Well, Paul, like I said, he's now retired here, but he's been in the plumbing industry for what, 40 years?
No, I'm 55 years and local 78. Union plumber for 55 years.
Oh man. You've turned a wrench a time or two, right? You've been around a lot.
Definitely.
All right. And tell us, how'd you get started in the plumbing?
Well, it's kind of unusual. I started out actually as an electrician in the Army Corps of Engineers, and then I worked in the U.S. Army Hospital in Sendai, Japan, in the engineering department there. I had a bunch of Japanese mechanics and an interpreter, and I learned a lot there. When I finally got discharged, I served almost 6 years in the U.S. Army. I got out, and I was always a mechanic. So I just started out, applied for a job, and the guy hired me. And after a year working with him, I joined the union and was in the local 78 for 55 years. I've done all types of work in this industry. And I love the industry. It's been very good to me, frankly.
Yeah, that's what this show's all about. I love having you on here. The plumbing industry is a great industry, and we need to get more guys into it. It would be a great way of life, But you weren't just in plumbing. I mean, we're doing a little bit of talking. Aren't you also been a skipper?
Oh yeah, I had actually two careers. I was a U.S. Coast Guard licensed charter boat skipper, and on the weekends I would work doing that. And out here in San Pedro, California, I worked on a charter dive boat. Actually, we took scuba divers and took divers all out to the outer Channel Islands. That was the second career.
All right, but we're talking plumbing here today. I guess it's water related, that kind of stuff. But
yes.
We're talking plumbing. So what's in all the 55 years? What's your favorite your plumbing work? I mean, you've done it all. What did you enjoy doing?
Well, I would say that I actually like commercial service, where you worked in large buildings and worked on boilers and piping systems and problems in live buildings, office buildings. And we have a lot of sort of high-rise condominium buildings here, and I worked in a lot of those. And you have to deal with the issues of shutdown, and I always found that more interesting than any other phase, and I stayed doing that most of the time.
Well, what did you find interesting about it? What was that?
Well,
was it bigger or what?
It's not. It's a little. You're working with larger systems, and you're having to deal with issues that you don't find in residential. I mean, you're trying to shut down a 16-story building to make a repair, or finding the zone valves for it. It's just more challenging and more interesting and different day to day. Yeah. But I've also worked in the new construction side, and I've done, when I first started, the guy that hired me was called the gold-plated plumber of Beverly Hills, and early in my career, we worked for a lot of actors in their homes, so it was kind of an interesting start.
Oh, that may lead us into a little, a story or whatever. Give us something fun or something different.
Well, I'll tell you a story that probably is a highlight of my plumbing career. When I was early on, we worked for Bing Crosby, the singer Bing Crosby, and he was building a house down in where was it? Down in Baja, Mexico, in the East Cape there. And his business manager came into the office and asked if anybody would go down there. My boss says, well, he'll go. So I went down there and assisted a bunch of Mexican plumbers putting Bing Crosby's house together. He flew me down there in a classic DC-3 airplane.
Oh,
and when I was down there for about 2 weeks, and when it was time to come back, I got to fly in that DC airplane with just the pilot, co-pilot, myself, and the pilot says, "You want to fly it?" And I got to sit in the seat of a DC-3 and for about
cool.
15 minutes and fool with the controls. So that was probably my favorite story.
Oh man, that's so cool. I just feel like I can relate to you there. Before my plumbing career, I had a music career, and sang with some pretty big bands, back in the day kind of bands, and a band that Bing Crosby sang with. And I have sheet music with his name written in his handwriting at the top of the sheet music. And I was supposed to turn that sheet music back in, but I kind of snagged on it and held on to it. So, all right, we got that. We got that in common. Pretty cool, man. Actually, I did his plumbing. All right, man.
Well, I was plumbing down there. I got up to do a little bit of fishing and diving down there as well, because I only worked for a few hours a day, and it was very cool. A really cool experience.
All right. So, what has you fired up about the plumbing industry today? You kind of mentioned about it's been very good to you.
Well, what I'm fired up about trying to get people into the trade. The trade's a really good trade for people to work in. It seems like it's a difficult thing to convince people, young people today, to get in it. But even women, the chief plumbing inspector here in Los Angeles for quite a while was a woman, and she was really good. I liked her a lot. Actually, she was on the cover of the IAPMO magazine for a while. Really good-looking lady too.
That worked.
Yeah. The trade's interesting. There's so many facets of the trade that people can get into, and if you do get into it as a young person, my advice is to learn as much as you can. Take advantage of every class that any of the manufacturers puts on, or any of the union or trade organizations put on. Learn as much as you can, and you'll advance in the trade. It's an excellent trade, and I've loved it. It's done very well for me.
Oh, you and me both, brother. I mean, there's such a great opportunity. I tell young guys all the time, look, you can literally write your own ticket. And the robots aren't going to take our jobs.
Never.
They're going to need plumbers. The stuff is cool. It's just not all stinky stuff. And they're going to need us. And
the other thing that I would kind of give advice on is, I'm an old guy, and I started out with dyes on my truck, a half to 1 inch and an inch and an inch and a quarter to 2 inch adjustable dye, and all it's gone.
Right.
You have to learn to adapt in this trade. You have to be able to accept new materials and methods, try them out, find out what their advantages are, and actually use them. I know guys say, well, you got to solder this joint, you got to do this. Well, sometimes there are better ways. And to succeed, you have to learn to do it. You have to accept those, but you have to keep your skill level up and install that as properly and neatly and cleanly straight as you possibly can.
Right.
Make a mechanic out of yourself no matter what material you're using.
Oh, man. Hey, I hope you guys are listening out there, and those are some great nuggets of gold. And it's not difficult today. Physically, it isn't as difficult during your time.
Oh, God.
When you're talking about the cast iron and the dyes and those kinds of things. And I came into it right when that stuff was going out. I mean, so that's been almost 30 years ago.
No,
but,
yeah.
So physically, of course, you're working hard, you're working up a sweat, your day gets tiring and, that kind of a thing. But the materials are so much easier to work with, and the tools, and you're so right. If you just stay on top of the technology, and stay with it, it just makes your job that much easier. And
The other advice I would give anybody getting into this trade, any young person, is even if you don't join the union, there are other organizations like PHCC
Exactly.
that will train you. You become valuable if you know what you're doing. Contractors like that. They want you to be trained. And most of them will reward you for your efforts too, if you do it. I mean, that's what I did. I was green when I started, just like anybody else. I took advantage of every class that I could take.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I came right out of the Navy, the same kind of thing, didn't know a lick, you know. And, my first day on the plumbing job was being held by my knees down a well shaft, an old guy, laughing. I think he could be arrested today for doing that.
Oh, I know.
But that's how we learned, and I just took advantage of everything possible. And, even with my companies, I would pay, and the other contractors will do the same. They'll pay to have you advance.
Sure they will.
And then you also, that equates to making more money with that, with that contractor. So, just huge opportunities if the guys will just take advantage of it. So
yeah, well, and the other part of that is learn the technical part of the trade if you possibly can. Learn what pressure is and, flow rates, those things. Those are really important. If you really want to know what you're doing in this trade, especially in the commercial, in what I did, commercial service, you really had to understand what was going on with the system in order to be able to take care of it. And it isn't just running a piece of pipe from point A to point B. You've got to know why you're doing it, how you're doing it. Learn the code, follow the codes, whether it's the Uniform Plumbing Code, National Plumbing Code, or the International Plumbing Code. Follow it, do what it says in your area, do your job neat and clean, and you'll get ahead in this business.
Exactly. And you don't have to have it all memorized. It's just, I think, even just knowing where to go.
Yeah, exactly.
If there is a code, and know that, okay, I don't know. Right.
Yeah. And it changes all the time too. Just keep ahead of yourself in the trade and you'll do well.
Yeah.
Be careful, follow safety. Safety is a big issue. I saw one of the plumbing sites online where a guy was in a ditch and people were commenting, you need to shore the ditch. And he's, we don't. I do it all the time. It's till the time one caves in.
Buried, right. So, yep, that's great advice, man. It's great. I hope you guys are listening out there. Hey, just to kind of change it up a little bit, what's a favorite or a tool or something you recommend? For the guys.
Today, what
you've seen them all.
You know what it is? Surprisingly, it's an electric impact screwdriver. I love that tool. You can take the panels off of and put off of a piece of equipment in no time at all.
There we go. Make it easy, right?
Yeah, I love that tool. No, but I guess if you really got down to it, I guess a pair of channel locks is probably everybody's favorite tool.
Yeah.
That and a multi-tip screwdriver.
There we go.
Those are things that everybody has, and they're favorites. But
hey, I'll admit something a little weird here. I'm out of the sold the plumbing business and that kind of a thing, and even gave some of my tools away and all. But I kept two things I had with me all the time. It was my channel locks, and it still has all the piped open stuff on the that kind of stuff, and the scars on it, and my 4-way screwdriver.
Yeah.
It's just I kept that, and it's in a drawer here. I just.
That's what I would carry in. The first thing when I would go on a job and look at it, always in my pocket.
That's right. Yeah. Well, there we go.
Just do a new construction. It was always a level and a tape measure.
It's just common. It's the same stuff we hear from guys all over the world. So the same kind of stuff. So, all right. Hey, before we move on any further, we're going to get ready to go into the lightning round. And while we give Paul a chance to get ready for the lightning round, I just want to remind my plumbing bros out there that mastermind roundtables are now forming. And hey, if you're looking to grow your business and just to succeed, a mastermind roundtable is a great place to do that. You literally can bypass years of frustration and pain and wasted time and money because you're with a group of others who are looking to do the same thing. So check it out. You can check it out at themilliondollarplumber.com/mastermind. So head that way and see if a mastermind roundtable is for you. I know if You'll join one, you'll love it. All right. Hey, Paul, you ready? I gave you enough time here. You ready for the lightning round?
Fire away.
All right. Here we go here. You ready? So as a reminder, I'm asking either or questions. Okay. So like if I say Coke or Pepsi, you say
Tequila.
tequila. That's for a little bit later. All right. So here we go. PVC or ABS?
ABS.
Okay. General or rigid?
General or rigid?
General tools or rigid tools?
Oh, I would say rigid.
All right. We're in the same boat there. Milwaukee or DeWalt for your power?
Well, I think they're all made in China, so I'd flip a coin between those two anymore. I used to be a real strong Milwaukee fan, but go ahead.
Okay. Poly or PEX?
Well, I don't like either one of them that much, but I would say PEX. I would say some of the PEX manufacturers are actually pretty good. I would go with PEX.
Okay. Here we go. Copper or CPVC?
Well, I'd have to say copper there for sure.
Okay. All right. Residential or commercial? I think you already answered this one.
Yeah, commercial.
You got it, man. Okay. Tank or tankless?
They both have their advantages. I think I like tankless actually on single family residence, and I like combination systems a lot too. So that's a hard one to answer one way or another. I like them both.
Okay. Which one's more fun?
Because I'm a commercial guy, I like boilers and tanks best, but I have a tankless at my own homes and it was fun. I tinker around with it if it goes bad.
All right. Okay. A little bit off the cuff here. Taco Bell or McDonald's?
Well, I'm a Californian. You know what the answer to that should be. Taco Bell.
Yeah,
Taco Bell, man.
Taco Bell, running for the border. I like it. Even out here in Indiana, it's Taco Bell. Crawl space or slab?
Oh, crawl space.
There you go.
But slabs are a challenge, and they're kind of fun when you got a service problem in them.
There you go. Yep. Trench or trenchless?
Well, that's a good question. I would say, if possible, trench. But if impossible, hardscape, then trenchless.
Yeah. Why? Why we have you here? What you done?
Well, I've run into this, and we had a situation where we had actually a film editing studio here in Los Angeles, had a lot of really large equipment to try to get out of the way, and they had a problem. We had to bypass a bathroom with the trenchless, but we would have torn the building up without trenchless. So we used trenchless on that, and we were able to get the building up and running. It was minus one bathroom, but it didn't bother them. It worked out. That's the problem with trenchless. You can bypass a connection.
Yeah.
You don't know it.
Right. Exactly. All right. Red Bull or coffee?
Oh, coffee.
That's right. Coffee. Yeah. I'd have guys all hopped up on Red Bull after another. It doesn't go.
Yeah.
All right. Solder fittings or shark bites?
Well, no shark bite. I would go with press, but no shark bite. I don't like shark bite one bit. The fittings can spin. If you have a valve on it, it can spin on the pipe. I do not like shark bite.
There we go. I know they work great in those tight places or whatever.
Well, it's an emergency. I can see a guy doing it in a real emergency where that's all he's got and he's fighting water and he's got to get it shut off or something. For a service issue, I can see it.
But quickly, but yeah.
But
all right. Adjustable wrench or channel locks? I think you mean.
Well, if you're working with a hex chrome fitting, I would say adjustable wrench. If you're working with just...
I know. I got you. I just try to get you.
You want to keep from scarring something up, the adjustable wrench, if you don't care, chatties.
There we go. There we go. You guys hear that? All right. I love my channel locks, but it's appropriate place and time, right?
Right on.
You got to take care of the stuff. All right. Hey, I want to get, this is a big question here, and I want I want the guys to listen up. Okay, there's a time to. We have an opportunity. We're all on the battlefield. I'm going to use a little bit of a metaphor, a little bit of movie metaphor. We're all in the battlefield, and we have different times, different ages, and different experiences on the battlefield. And it's good that we have. That's what Potty Talk Live is all about. Is we have a chance to hear from guys from all over the world who are on the plumbing battlefield. But just like in the movies, in the movies where the guys are in the bar and they're all talking, but finally that one guy, the one guy that's been around and seen it all, speaks, there in the corner, and everybody stops and listens. All right, this is that moment, guys. We got Paul here. I'm going to ask him a question. Everybody needs to stop and listen, all right? Because we're listening to this guy, all right? He's been around and seen it all. All right, Paul, give us some advice. What's the best advice you've ever received, and, that you think that, what you want to pass on to some of these young guns?
Well, if you're going to enter this trade, and I think I mentioned it before, the best and strongest advice I could give is listen, take as many classes as you can get. If you can join an apprentice program, whether it's a PHCC program or a union program, do it. Mm-hmm. Not because you'll get the training there. Actually, a union plumber takes 4 years to turn out, 5 in some cases. So learn as much as you can. Understand the trade. It isn't just about putting a piece of pipe from one place to another. It's about understanding what you're doing and why you're doing it. And remember, what we do, when you talk about plumbers, we really are responsible for the health of the world with modern plumbing. And learn as much about it as you can. Start out and don't think that you know it all. Listen to the guys that do. Follow their advice. Learn as much as you can. And that would be my strongest advice is to learn, take classes.
That's some great advice there. I hope you guys are listening up. It's been a great life. It's a great life, isn't it?
Oh, it has been very good to me. I mean, I'm now retired, but I'm comfortably retired. And come here, Maddie. Here, wait a minute.
Okay.
Is that okay?
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, she had to come in and interrupt us a minute, but no. Keep yourself safe in the field. Take care of your job. Take care of your family, and that's my best advice.
There we go. We're part of a proud tradition. And it's a great way of living. It's a great life. It provides for our families. You can make a lot of money. You make good money. We all have our idea what a lot of money is, but you can make very good money at it. But it's being a professional. And Paul, I think he just gave us some very good words and nuggets of gold.
Yeah, in closing, the trade's been maligned a lot. I mean, even out here in Los Angeles, one of the service contractors calls his competition stinky plumbing and that. Try to hold your head up. Make it look clean. It is a good trade. It's honorable. Right. It isn't just about unstopping a toilet or fixing a faucet. It's about what we do to keep people running. I mean, you think about going into an office building and it's 16, 20 stories high. How does the water get to the top of that? How does the waste get out of it? Think about that. That's what we do.
There we go. That's great. I think that's a great place to end. And Paul, I thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today and also putting up. We had some technical difficulties here on this end at the beginning. Thank you for your patience.
No problem.
And it's been great having you on. And I hope you guys are listening up. And there was a lot of great information there and nuggets of gold. And for those of you guys that have been listening, hey, please, reshare this broadcast with your friends. All right, so they can listen to Paul as well. So, Paul, again, thank you. And appreciate having you on. It's been great, and let's stay in touch here. I want to get you on.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate the opportunity. Actually, thanks a lot.
All right, brother. Hey, appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
All right. Thanks a lot. Good luck out there.
All right, guys, there you have it. It's about time to wrap things up. But I just want to remind everyone that if you're looking to get more customers and to make more money and to grow your plumbing businesses, I'm here to help and would love to help you by sending you my free special report, The 7 Must Knows to be a $1 Million Plumber. All you need to do is simply type in free report in the comments below, and I'll get that out to you. No strings attached. There's no catch, no gimmicks, anything like that. I just want to get that free report in your hands. So type free report in the comments. I'll get it out to you. So there you have it. It's time to wrap this up. Until tomorrow, as always, plumb like a champion.